Warning: the Chaotic Culture Podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Embrace the culture, blaze the doja, grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster, the KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. If you joined me last week for Zach's interview, I greatly appreciate the listens. I appreciate all who tuned in. I appreciate Zach for coming through and dropping some knowledge on us. Please be sure that you go and stream Zach's music. Please be sure that you check out The Vibe on all streaming platforms and follow them on Instagram at ___ The Vibe. Check out all 3 songs that they have released. That's Welcome to the Vibe, Musical Language, and Deep Thoughts. Especially if you have some time on your hands, definitely take a listen. Songs range from anywhere between 13 to 16 minutes. You know, it is quite the journey. And I know some people would rather listen to 2 to 3 minute songs, but each song is a movement or has movements, and each song feels like it could be a different song in its own if you split them up. But I personally enjoy the music, so I always will recommend my people, and I will always support them. So definitely take a listen to his music. That being said, this is your host once again. This is Ked the Pro, aka the Calculated Millennial, aka the Cutlass Diamond, aka don't be pushing on my buttons and my cutlass unless you cutting. The 843 is me doing it live from the 7-5. So with that, this week is a very special interview, in part because it was kind of last minute. The way that this interview happened was she just happened to be in town, and I hit her up and said, hey, I want you to, do this interview with me. Are you down? And she rushed over. She listens to the podcast, and she is a big time supporter, and it's only fair that I always promote her products and whatnot. So I definitely wanted to get her in here to do this interview. And hey, I had a great time talking and speaking with her. She is a very, very, very great person, a very strong-willed, very determined, very, very powerful Black woman. And y'all know how I love my Black women. So I had to do this interview with her because her ambition is bar none. And I honestly didn't know that she was that ambitious until later on in her college career, because I knew that she was a very dope person. But then when I found out all that she was involved in and all that she wanted to do and all that she had her hand in while at school, I was pleasantly surprised. Part of that was because, I had already graduated by the time that she got there, but just knowing how she was able to leave her mark at Hampton, that is very, very impressive. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I am going to get to the interview here because I know that you guys actually want to listen to that and not listen to me ramble. But a couple things before we get into the actual interview. Number one, as always, rest in peace to DMX. Rest in peace to Black Rob, who just recently passed as well. If you don't know who Black Rob is, please look him up. Definitely an artist under Bad Boy who did not get his due. And unfortunately, with his health deteriorating, he just could not afford the cost to upkeep his health. So they sent him home, and unfortunately, he passed. It's really such a sad story. And one of these days, I'm going to do an episode of why we don't like P. Diddy. I'm going to have to do it because it's just ridiculous how many artists he has shafted, for lack of a better term. So there's that. Um, there's been, it seems that each day there's a new mass shooting. This last one just happened to be at the FedEx facility where 8 people were killed, including the shooter who committed suicide. It's y'all wonder why we just ask for common sense gun laws, man. Y'all wonder why we just have to. Y'all are, how to put this without, going into a tirade because I don't want to waste time, but it, you start to get numb to it. And then it starts to become a fear in the back of your head that maybe, if I'm out in public too long, this might happen to me. Nowhere is safe because we got politicians out here who, for some reason, can't get with common sense gun laws. And these weapons end up in the hands of people who they really don't need to have their hands on weapons to start. And then things like this happen. And I know that my gun activists will say, guns don't kill people, people do. Well, how do we stop those bad people from getting their hands on a gun and going crazy? You tell me. Please tell me. I don't know, man. I don't want to sound desensitized, but it's just really hard to comprehend at this point. And then let's not even go into police brutality because we saw the murder of the 13-year-old boy in Chicago. I wish that more people would have the attitude of just because you're a criminal doesn't mean you deserve to die right then and there. The young boy, excuse me, he won't ever see his day in court because unfortunately he's dead. It's really baffling that people will jump to conclusions and people will have this idea that, you commit a crime that you automatically deserve to die. If the crime is not murder, of course, that it's still just these people have this mindset of, if you resist, not even if you resist, it's just a matter of these people could be complying as the young boy did. And they still could end up losing their life because a cop will shoot first and ask questions later. Let's talk about the lieutenant in the Army who happens to be a frat brother of mine who literally put his hands out the window and didn't know what to do because he feared for his life. He literally went to a well-lit area just to be absolutely sure, and he was smart for that. Saying that he was afraid and then the cops telling him that he should be and then pepper spraying him. I know this is kind of off topic from the interview, But we needed to address those situations because it didn't feel right without me at least saying something about them. We'll go into more detail in another episode. Uh, that being said, Law is not with me for this episode, and neither is NASA. And then the next episode that I will drop, it'll be an interview with another friend of mine as well, where it's just kind of a solo interview. So yeah. But anyway, we're not here to talk about any of the things that I had to address or anything like that. We are going to focus on strong Black women with strong ambitions and big, big goals. So let me not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get to the interview with the founder and CEO of the KSSBrand and the founder of the Girls Rule organization at Hampton University, Miss Kristina Stewart. This message is brought to you by KSSBrand. KSSBrand is a high-quality women's essential line created by CEO Kristina Stewart. Kristina is a graduate from the illustrious Hampton University, and from there, she has created her own path of being an entrepreneur that focuses on women empowerment and self-care. She aims to contribute to highlight young women to feel confident, self-assured, and to live up to their full potential. Her first set of products from her new brand are high-quality lip glosses. These lip glosses are designed to not only make you look good, but also make you feel good by incorporating properties such as vitamin E oil and coconut oil for skin moisturization, as well as aromatherapy oils such as chamomile oil, which is good for reducing stress and anxiety. Her products now include high-quality lip liner and eyelashes. You can find her brand page on Instagram at KSSBrand, and her website is www.kssbrand.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a surprise guest with me. I'm just so happy to have her grace our presence here, because I honestly was surprised that she was even down here, and it's kind of last minute, but I was like, I've been meaning and been wanting to do an interview with her for the longest. So let me call her. Let me see if she can do it. And when she said yes, it was just a matter of, okay, now we're here. So a little bit of background before I let her introduce herself here. So I met this young lady in 2015. That was her freshman year at Hampton University. At that time, I had just finished grad school. We were working backstage on a play called Stick Fly, and that was an interesting time in itself. With that, I was actually introduced to her through another young lady that's actually sitting here with us. She's watching right now. But yeah, she we became really good friends from that point forward, and this young lady has been doing a lot, not only through Hampton University, but just outside of that as well. She has her own brand, and we're going to talk about that a little more. If you've heard previous episodes before, you've heard my advertisement for her as the KSSBrand, but let me stop beating around the bush. Let me just go ahead and introduce to everybody here Miss Kristina Stewart. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and what you got going on and things like that.
Okay, so my name is Kristina Stewart. I'm a graduate of the illustrious Hampton University. I graduated
Indeed.
in 2019, QTX.
Hey,
Um, so yeah, in my time in Hampton, I was fortunate enough to start an amazing organization named Girls Rule. I started in September 2017. Organization has been flourishing. It's been amazing since the day it started, and we're still going strong. So that was something really close to me that I started at Hampton. And then after Hampton, I started my own brand named KSSBrand. So I sell women's essential cosmetics and things like that. So I sell lip gloss, I sell lip liner, and I sell eyelashes. So, I'm just always all things women essential, all things women empowerment. I've always been really, really on that wave since I can remember. It's like since I was young, all things women empowerment. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. And y'all have heard me say this multiple times on this platform when it comes to people who have, whether they've attended Hampton University or graduated from Hampton University, I have not run into not one unsuccessful person. Like, everybody out here is doing their own thing, and everybody out here is being successful here, regardless of what it is. And I especially have to give it to the black women that I've ran into, because they're yes, like when it comes to the black women that I've met at Hampton University, absolutely not. Like, I've seen some black women do some amazing things, just from even being a Hamptonian. You may not have been a part of every organization in the world, but you were doing something, and I think that's what is truly important, man. This is why, I've always loved black women, but I think Hampton made me fall in love with black women even more. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. So just a couple quick questions, Kristina. Before we really get into it, first and foremost, how have you been personally?
I have been really great. I think, especially with, the whole virus and everything going on, we've all been so accustomed to so many changes. And the biggest thing that I've learned since my time at Hampton, because I'm still, fairly new graduate. I only graduated 2 years ago.
Right.
So the biggest thing that I've learned is how important your mental state is and how important your mindset is. Yes, I've been in California. I've been back in Maryland since COVID, and all these different places and all these different stages of my life. But the most important thing to me, you can change spaces, you can travel the world, you can do so many different things, but your mindset and how you think and what you feed yourself, that's what grows. So, as long as I do that, I'm always okay. I found peace. You can take away happiness. My phone can make me happy. Talking to people can make me happy. Things can make me happy, but even when that goes away, I still have peace. So I'm the best I've ever been, truly.
Hey, that's what's up. That actually goes into my next question. What made you move out all the way to California first?
Ooh, I love Cali.
Oh.
Since, my dad works at the airport. He's always worked at the airport since I was young.
Oh, okay.
So my whole life I've always traveled. I've been everywhere, and my parents are from Jamaica. So
Okay.
I've been everywhere. I've done a lot. So when I was young, fun fact, I actually used to model in Cali.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
When I was really young. But I don't know. Since I was young, I've loved Cali. And my dad always says it to this day. He always says, I remember when you was young and you said, I'm going to be a manager in California. And I would say that I used to tell my siblings, you guys are going to work for me. I was just always kind of, I don't want to say bossy. I was probably more bossy at that young age. But, I was always kind of bossed up. I want to have my own stuff. I don't want to work for nobody. I just want to continuously. I do want to, of course, be a manager to other businesses, but also manage myself and do more and help others.
Right.
So I've always just kind of been bossed up. You know what? This is what I want. I'm going to do it. My whole college career, and anyone could tell you that's been around me, even my best friend next to me, she could tell you right now, I've been talking about, I'm going to move to California since I was a freshman. Every single year, I was around the Cali kids. I wanted to learn more. So this has been in the works since I was young. I knew I was moving to Cali. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing.
Okay. Hey, that's what's up. So, that being said, I know with COVID, it kind of changed everything. So right now, are you still based out of California, or are you just been in Maryland for the entire time?
Yeah.
For the most
Well,
part?
that was also such a big change. It was, it started basically the work from home thing.
Yeah.
So it was all right, because the COVID thing started getting serious, like March, April, kind of after February. So I moved to Cali right after graduation. I got my apartment. Literally, graduation was like May 12th, whatever graduation was. I flew to Cali the next week and got my apartment. So it was starting to become time to renew my lease. So I had two options. Either, all right, if we're all going to be working from home, I can either renew my lease or I can go home to Maryland and save money. But the only thing that was kind of weighing on me is we don't know how long COVID is going to last. So I had to make that important decision. So I was going back and forth from like Cali, Maryland, and then I was keeping I didn't renew my lease at first, and I kept my things in storage. But then I could see, okay, this COVID thing ain't letting up. Because at first I was like, COVID schmovid. This is not going to last. What are y'all talking about? But then when it started becoming months and months, I was like, okay, I'm going to, I feel like God is like, girl, go to Maryland until, Because those cases in Cali.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, it's ridiculous out there. That's... God has a purpose for us, and I'm glad that, you were able to recognize what he was telling you, and you were able to make that decision, because I prayed for, and I still pray for my folk out there in Cali.
Yes.
Like, man, I hope y'all are doing well, because, I know a lot of people out there.
It's so populated.
Yeah, and it's just like, dang, with COVID going on. I was with you when you said that, you thought it might be a couple months or whatnot.
Sure.
Because I thought we was definitely going to be outside summer 2020, and that did not happen. Shoot. So, thankfully, things are starting to turn around. There are some people who are still, stupid out there, and unfortunately, certain cases are still rising in certain states. But you know what? That is what it is. That's another topic for another time. I got my first dose of the vaccine this past Saturday. So, Friday, excuse me. So, I'm gonna be outside this summer. Yeah, one way or the other. And I'm gonna still be safe, and I'm gonna still, do what I gotta do to be safe and not pass the disease on to older folks. But still,
we still wearing masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Wearing masks.
Exactly. I don't take that thing off at any point in time unless I'm in my house or in my car by myself. That's about it. But anyway, getting back to the subject. Now, I know that you have stated that you've always been bossed up, so I have to ask, are you currently like working for somebody else right now, or is it still strictly entrepreneurship all the way through?
I'm doing both.
Oh, okay.
So still working, but still, focused on myself. I feel like it's important to do both. Like, it's okay. And that's another thing with society, this whole everyone needs to be a CEO and everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. What people do not understand is even the CEO has people working under them.
Yep.
You cannot, everyone can't. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have your own thing and follow your own path and your own dreams and stuff like that. But do not knock the 9 to 5 or whatever job you have. So that's important.
Yeah,
so
we talking you LLC Twitter. It's just like not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
That is a different type of spirit.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is hard, first of all, and a lot of people, I don't want to say just give up, but like sometimes you're not even in the position to do that. Don't just do it because it's like, oh, everyone else is doing it. Sometimes it's not your calling to do your own thing. Your calling might just be being a leader with a servant heart and doing that, somewhere else under somebody's company or helping your friend out with their business or whatever the case may be. But, it's okay to have both or just do one or the other. But whatever you feel like is your passion and your purpose, then do that.
That's real. That is really, really real. And I wish more people would just be able to comprehend that kind of mind of
It's social media and stuff like that, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's real. Oh goodness, we can have an entire conversation about that. But let's talk more about your time at Hampton and Girls Rule itself. What, if I could start, what made you want to find this particular organization, and then you can talk more about what it's about.
Okay, so I started Girls Rule my junior year, September 2017. So I think it was in my sophomore year. I was just, Hampton is mostly girls.
Yes.
And I think a lot of time, it could be subconsciously or not, but I think a lot of times we find ourselves kind of with the competition mentality, just because it's so many girls. We want the same things. There's like a very little amount of boys, the way that it's compared to girls. So many things it's like we're all competing for. And I don't know how to explain it, but it was a feeling I felt, and I just felt kind of icky. I was just like, I want to kind of be a part of something where we're not doing that. I want to be somewhere where I feel safe. Like, are there different group of girls that kind of feel like me that don't really care about this competition and just want to empower other girls type thing. And that's not to bash any organization or anything like that, because I think one thing about Hampton is we have so many amazing women empowerment organizations and things like that, and just groups and amazing women that loved coming together and things like that. But for me personally, at that time, sophomore year, I didn't have anything that I was in that I felt like was just a support system, something that I felt like I could truly be my unapologetic self and just, express what I felt like expressing, like, hey, do you guys feel like this too, and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, if this is heavy on my heart every single day, this is something that I feel about, why don't I just create it? So yeah, it was just something that I felt like I needed to do, and I feel like I had the right resources to do it. I feel like if you know me, you know how genuine I am. I don't do nothing to get credit, to get acknowledgement, to get people to look at me a certain way or anything like that. It's like I know, and I've been on this for a long time, that my purpose is to be a leader with a servant heart. And if that means to create a women empowerment organization, if that means to create a women essential line, if that means whatever it means, I'm going to do it. So if I feel it, I'm going to do it. So something was like, girl, just do it. Just create it. If you feel this passionate about helping women and being that support system for women and giving them something to feel like they can just come in and just have girl chats. We had meetings every single Monday. We did not miss a Monday because I wanted to start off the week with positivity. Right. Like I said, I was going through mental changes and knowing that, you know what, what you feed yourself will grow. If you feed yourself love, positivity, empowerment, just positive things, that will grow. So if we're all doing that together as women instead of trying to compete with each other, we gonna grow. Like, we can really do this thing.
That's what's up.
So that's what I did. I wanted bonding. I wanted community service because I love giving back to the community and stuff like that. So I really thought of that idea, and I worked on it through the whole summer of 2017. I got back on campus and I did it.
Hey, shout out to you first and foremost, just for having that mindset. You're not gonna find a lot of people out here, regardless, of what their intentions may be, that just have that mentality of, okay, I want to be a leader, but I still want to have a serving heart. Right. That's something that when you said that, I almost wanted to be like, oh my goodness, Jesus, yes, come on now.
Because it's so true. You're not a real leader if you don't want to help nobody and bring nobody up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as a woman, we already know how hard it is to be a woman and a black woman at that. So I'm like, why are we not on the same team? And that's not really coming for anyone at Hampton, but at times it would feel like, dang, what are we competing for? Why is it so much? Why can't we all stick together more? Like, there should be more of this. So I was just like, you know what? I want to do something where I feel like, you know what? I just did something with this. Like, I can feel women coming together and really embracing their true selves and supporting each other. We don't need to. And I called it Girls Rule because I felt like society tries to act like there's rules to becoming a woman. So it was kind of like, yes, of course, girls rule, we're powerful, we're a force, but it was also like, there are no girl rules. You cannot tell another woman what they need to talk like, dress like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I feel like just growing up at Hampton, it can kind of mess you up if you're not mentally, I don't even want to say prepared, but like, you got to know that. Don't let nobody tell you have to wear heels and a full face of makeup to go to an 8 a.m. class, because you don't. And some girls that didn't do that, they wouldn't feel pretty enough. But at the same time, it's like, you don't want to do that. And you don't have to. So.
Hey, I feel that because the culture at Hampton can
it's a
be
lot.
Like that. Yeah.
It's a lot. And especially as a 17, 18, 19-year-old girl, it's a lot to take in. So I just wanted to do something where it was like, I'm sitting girls down like, hey, I want you to know that you can be who you want to be. And it's totally okay. You don't have to wear heels. You don't have to beat your face. You can be natural if you don't want to be natural. Whatever you want to do, do it. Just embrace your true self. Just be genuine and love yourself. So,
hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. I really just, but for one, I've already given you props about the organization that you found out anyway, but
Yes.
I just have to give more props to you because you were able to find that space within the culture at Hampton, and you were able to create something that I think and I hope will last a long time.
Yes,
So
for sure.
that actually goes into my next question. Like, I know that you said it's still going strong today, but
Yes.
what are some of the things that the organization is doing now that you think are, I guess, some really good accomplishments that you can list off, since you're not there? And obviously with COVID, things have changed. So I just have to ask, is there anything, specifically that the organization is doing that you want to talk about now?
Yes, this is funny because I actually just got off the phone with them. They just picked the new e-board for the fall 2021, spring 22 semester. So I think one of the biggest things is a lot of people think that just because I'm the CEO, I can just let girls rule be girls rule. And it's just like, I understand what y'all are trying to say, but no, that's my baby. And I don't have to be too heavily involved because I trust my board. But picking, being involved in that process of like, all right, who's going to be the new president? Who's going to be the VP and why and stuff like that. So I trust heavily the girls that are in my organization. I'm very close with the e-board now. And then I've talked to the new girls that they pick because the new upcoming girls in the new e-board positions, I don't know as well because, I was a senior when I think they were coming up, or I graduated, I think. So I didn't get to meet everyone. I met some of them. But the biggest thing is to, keep a strong e-board leading. Your leading is really what it is because new girls coming in, they're not going to know the structure.
Right.
A lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, Kristina, like I miss when you were here because woo. Even though they still love everything going on now, but they got to see that.
Right.
So I think it's important for me to continue to lead, not necessarily be over their heads at all the time because, that's where trust comes in. But just let them know like, hey, make sure y'all are still doing meetings every single Monday. Make sure y'all are still incorporating bonding because that's important to have trust and to really empower each other. You want to know these girls. So stuff like me just really implementing the elements that I feel like are so significant to the organization really help. And they've been doing amazing. When I say there's not at least one day in a week that goes by that I get a message from one girl that says, I am so grateful for this organization. I could literally put my phone down and just show you every single screenshot. I'm not going to do that, but I can. I mean, it just warms my heart. Like, I know I really did something with this, and it shows. So definitely keeping a strong e-board and just staying genuine. Like, the girls' real intention is just pure, honestly. We're not doing it for nothing but to solely just be there for other women and just, keep building that support system. So,
That's what's up. Are there any projects that the actual organization is working on right now? Or are there any future goals that you hope that Girls Rule will accomplish in the future?
As for goals, I'm in the process right now. A lot of other colleges, HBCUs have reached out to me to implement and bring the organization to their school. So, and that's always been a goal to me. When I first started the organization, I was like, you know what? It's not just Hampton. Like, this needs to be at other schools because it's just something that's helpful. So why not? So I'm in the process of that now. So that's definitely goals I'm reaching off with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I never would have imagined that that you had the plans to take that.
For sure.
Yeah, to other HBCUs. That's great.
First started Girls Rule, I said, you know how there's like a boys and girls club everywhere? I said, I'm going to do that with Girls Rule because why not? No one can stop you but you. As long as I continue to keep going. If I say, okay, I want Girls Rule to be like a boys and girls club, every single state, every single city, I want Girls Rule to be everywhere, then it's going to happen because why not?
Hey, yo, let me just make my audience, clear. Like, look, when you got ambition, the only person stopping you is you. And as Kristina has pointed out, like, she has the mindset of nothing is going to stop her. So I hope that she continues to have that mindset, even not only with Girls Rule, but her own brand as well. Like, I just hearing that gives me motivation and just make sure that, whether it's just me or if it's somebody else, or even if I grow up and have a daughter. Well, I say grow up and have a daughter like I'm not 30. But even if I have children, you know, and whatnot, and I end up having a little girl, and, you know, I want to be able to let her know that if you put your mind to anything, that you will be successful, because, you know, regardless of what happens next, like, obviously my daughter is going to be a black woman, and I have to make sure that she understands what living in this world and in this country means for her, and what is going to be the best path forward for her, you know, and I hope and pray that, you know, if that time does come, that I'll be able to have those conversations with her.
Sure.
So, but that in itself your whole thing is giving me motivation, just to make sure that I know, you know, where to take this platform, and hopefully be able to not only just open it up for Hampton students but for everybody in general. You know, I want people to know that, you know, we have strong people in black culture, and, you know, this is going to thrive one way or the other.
Literally.
So, before we get a little bit into your brand, I just wanted to know, you know, a few things, in general, like what is your biggest fear in the next upcoming years? And it doesn't have to be just, you know, and random stuff. I mean, it could be about your business, it can be about Girls Rule, or if you have any fears about your brand or anything like that, or are you going into this strictly fearless, like I don't care what happens?
Somebody just asked me that the other day, and I couldn't think of that, because the more I've really one thing, like I said, your mindset is really important, and I tell Autumn this all the time too. Like, it's mind over matter. Like, you have to really teach your brain to work for you instead of against you. And I work on that every single day. Like, I pray, I meditate, I manifest, all of this. So, and it's like when people ask me that, I'm like, should I be thinking about my fears? Because I'm really not. I think that there's always possibilities of like, oh, maybe I'll have a slow month or a slow year or something like that. But my mindset is, as long as you don't stop, you'll be fine. The only problem is if you stop. If I take a year off or 2 years off, something like that, like stuff to break me down. So, you know, inevitable things can happen. Like if someone in my family passes away, you know, things that can make me stop. Yeah. But it would have to be some inevitable that I wouldn't really think about, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not thinking of anything that would really, because I'm just not going to stop.
Hey, no, that's cool. That's a good mindset to have. Like, no matter what obstacles that you run into, you just have the mindset of nothing is going to deter me. I'm going to just keep pushing through. Okay.
I seen this analogy. It was something about like, I think it was like a track race or something. It was like, you know, someone can be winning in a race against you, but if you trip, you can just get back up.
That's real.
If you fall and just stay down and never get back up, that's the only way you lose. The only time that you lose is if you give up. As long as you keep going, I don't care if it takes me 20 years to reach all of my goals. If it takes me, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, as long as I don't stop, I'm successful regardless. Okay. So I don't really fear anything. Hey, I don't know if that's a right answer.
No. That's a good answer. That is a good answer, because, you know, there are some people who might have those reservations, or they might have those fears in the back of their head, like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? And sometimes even I have to tell myself, like, yes, things are gonna happen, and you can't think about the what ifs. Yeah. Man. You just have to keep pushing forward and remember your goals and strive towards those goals, because that's the only way that you're gonna be successful. Like, it happens to the best of us sometimes, but you know, just if I can use an example, I'm working today and I'm in car sales, and it's just like, dang, yo, I'm calling these people, you know, trying to set up appointments. I set up 5 appointments at the end of last weekend, and none of them showed up. I was disappointed, but at the same time, I'm like, there's more people I can call. You know what? Regardless, if I don't make my goal this month, that's fine. As long as I just keep going try to push to that goal, I'm good, because at the end of the day, I was like, I'm still under a guarantee here this month. So even if I don't make my goal, I'm still not going to, you know, reach under my goal. Now, after 6 months, then it might get a little dicey. But right now, I can't worry about that. I just have to keep pushing and keep learning and making sure that I talk to everybody around me to be sure that I'm getting the right motivation and using the right tools to be successful. So that leads into my next question. Who is your biggest motivator, and what is your biggest motivation?
Um, I would say my biggest motivator is probably my mom. I know that's generic, but like I said, my parents, they're not from here. Both my parents, so both sides are Jamaican, so I'm full Jamaican. So seeing them,
Hey, sorry, I had to shout you out a little bit because it's not too many. I haven't met too many full blown, actual people from Jamaica. So that's good to know and good to hear.
Yeah.
Because you actually, when you go to Hampton, you get to interact with so many different Black cultures that
Yes.
it's not just the generic. I'm from such and such, and that's all that you know. It's people from all walks of life. So continue.
yes. So that being said, I've seen them come. When I say come from, like, my mom's from Kingston, my dad is from, like, this is the thing with Jamaica. People think Jamaica is like nice, Montego Bay, ooh, resorts, ooh. I'm like, nah.
Nah, we some of us know the truth.
Some of us know the truth, and I ain't gonna say too much, but they really came from nothing. Like,
I got
they ain't
you.
the bushes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So seeing them come from nothing, and then it's like I went to, and I'm saying this so humbly because I'm so proud of my parents. I'm so proud of my family. I'm so proud of myself, and that's important. Be proud of yourself, guys. So seeing them come from nothing, me and all of my siblings, I have 3 siblings. We went to college, and we all went debt free, no loans.
Wow.
That is huge. That's
Very.
not common. You know what I'm saying? They got to America when they were in like their 20s. So that is amazing.
Yeah, y'all put in that work.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that drive has like been embedded in me. You know, it's like it's kind of, I always say, like, why not? If they could do it, if other people can do it, why can't I? So
That's real.
If any situation you gotta flip it. Like, I know a lot of people, especially since COVID, I mean, everyone's situation is different, so I don't try to judge or try to go too far with it, but I do feel like God is waking us up every single day for a reason. Take this day and flip it. I don't care how bad your day was. Make it good. You can't wait for it to be good. You have to make it good. We are literally in so much more control than we know we are. So that should motivate you itself. You know, like, even when I have bad days, because every single day, of course, sometimes you can really have a terrible day when you don't want to do nothing. But I'm like, even days I could be crying, I could have the worst day, I'm still posting 3 times on my business page, and anyone can tell you that. I don't care, because sometimes it's not about like what you feel like. What you feel like don't matter. You got to do what you got to do. You have a job at the end of the day. You think your boss cares if you had a bad day? No.
Nope.
You still got a job. So that motivates me. Like, when my parents motivate me, and then I don't know if it makes sense to say my mindset motivates me, but it does. It's like the fact that I've taught myself this new thinking, you know, of just unlearning and learning new things. It motivates. It keeps me going. Like, wow, the fact that I can wake up, you know, I can unlearn something that has probably been traumatic to me for all these years that I've been like kind of stuck on. I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't have to think like that.
Right.
I don't have to think that every single day when it's a bad day, I get to just not talk to no one and do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like just the process of unlearning and learning. And, yeah, a lot of my family, a lot of things that I've just learned, and just having faith in, you know, faith in God and stuff like that, it keeps me motivated as well. Like, you know, I can do this.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad that you have the motivation and the spirit to keep going. And I'm glad that, you know, your parents and your family in general has, you know, had your back and have been the biggest motivators in your life. That's really important. And I want people to know that it doesn't have to be just blood, but,
For sure.
you know, having that support system goes a long way. And, you know, one thing for certain, even though I didn't make it out of college without debt, unfortunately, you know, having to go to grad school and things like that, yeah, but still, just having that motivation of knowing that I was able to push through and see so many others push through because they had that support system and they had that motivation to, you know, be successful. I think that's what's really going to help others, you know, survive this culture that we live in. That's one of the reasons why this thing is called chaotic culture. It's not to say that, oh, we're gonna, you know, cause chaos within our different subcultures of this culture in general, but it's just more so, how are we going to survive? How are we going to be successful? What can we contribute to society as a whole? And how are we going to be the best people that we can be regardless? Because black people, black people rock in general. But
Period.
hey, look, and especially black women, y'all know how much I love my
Period.
black women. So hey, y'all see how many interviews that I've had with my black women on here. So I will always support. I mean, I came from a black woman, so I have to throw that in there. But most importantly, you know, it's very important that we all maintain that mindset and that we all continue to have faith. Now, all of us in here, you know, that we're doing this interview, all of us in here do pray to God. Now, I do know that there's some people out there that may not have the same beliefs that we do, but that's okay. As long as you have something that is going to motivate you, and, you know, you can have faith in something as long as you have that faith system, regardless of if it's in God, regardless if it's in your family, regardless if it's just in yourself.
Yes.
That's what is going to push you to be your best self.
Have a foundation.
Exactly.
What are you going to go to when you're in your dark times and you're having a bad day? What is your foundation? Some people, it might be Christ, might be reading the Bible and going back to that. Some people, you know, it might be a family member, like you said, or something like that. But, like, it's just so essential to have a foundation and know your foundation.
Exactly. And I thank God for the people around me because I can put my faith in Him and them, and I know that my support system is going to, you know, it's going to help me get on my feet no matter what. So with that, let's talk a little more about your brand, KSSBrand.
My baby.
Yes, let's talk about how you got started with that.
My second baby. I always say I have two babies. I say Girls was my first baby, and then KSS is my second baby. And who knows what I got up my sleeve next?
Oh, man.
At this point. I started KSSBrand. Okay. I started in 2020, October. I've been working on it through the whole summer, basically. I think I came up with the idea in like May, June-ish. So it was the midst of the pandemic, and it was kind of like on my own spiritual journey ish, and I just was praying. You know, I'm really an empathetic person, like seriously.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic was coming on, was going on, it was kind of like I just kept praying to God, like, God, what is it that I can do to continue to fulfill my purpose of being a leader with a servant heart? What can I do? What can I implement? What am I doing? And when I say after I prayed to God, first of all, let me say this. One thing about me is I have the shortest attention span in the world. So short, it's so bad. I cannot watch full YouTube videos. That's why I really, it's just a lot. I can't do it. But I kept seeing how to make lip gloss videos come up randomly on my YouTube. Don't know why. I never looked for it. So I was like, what? Why does this keep coming out every single day? So I was like, you know what, whatever. So I started watching them. And it was just so interesting. It could be an hour long and I'd watch the whole thing. That's not normal for me. I'm not watching nothing that's an hour long that's on YouTube. For what? So, and it just kept happening every single day. I was like, God, what's going on? This is it? This is what? And when I say I could literally hear him telling me, like, keep going. Like, keep reading to it. So I was like, okay. And I started doing research. So, especially with my glosses, personally, I use like coconut oil, and I also like, you know, things that are good for your skin, like coconut oil, vitamin E oil. But what's very unique about my glosses is that I use essential oils. So I use like lavender, which is good for relaxation, and I use chamomile oil, which is good for like anxiety, stress relief, and stuff like that. So especially the time with Corona and COVID and people, it was just a really high stress time. So
Right.
I was using elements and oils that could like kind of help. Of course, you're not going to put on lip gloss and just feel cured, but I was doing something, like I said, I've always been with all things women empowerment, but I was doing something that could help. You're not only feeling good, but you're also, you know, you're not just looking good, but you're also feeling good.
Right.
And I fell in love with that. I felt like with Girls Rule, I was tapping into women emotionally and mentally, and now I had something where I could do something for women physically.
Okay.
So I'm always going to do something to be impactful. I don't like to just do stuff just to do stuff. It's like I want to be impactful. And I just fell in love with it. I love not just my business, but making my products. Everything 100% natural, good for your skin, stuff like that. So I just felt like I was doing something that was impactful. So, yeah, it kind of started off like as a spiritual thing. I was like, what can I do to just help? I don't know what it means to help, if I was helping dudes, if I was helping girls, if I was helping babies. I don't know. But he led me into that. And I I literally just did a pop up the other week, and I just remember this woman. She bought my products and she left to go home or wherever she went, and she came back literally like 30 minutes later, drove all the way back to town. She was just like, "I love this product." I was like, "Oh my
that's
gosh!"
what's up.
People always tell me they love my
Yeah.
products, but it was the fact that she drove back. She was like, this is amazing. Like, I love this. Like, I feel good."
It's lit.
You know, and I love that. And it's not like an ego booster or anything like that, but I love to help. I love to put on for women, period. So, like I said, I felt like I was doing something to help women emotionally and mentally, and now I'm doing something for them to physically put on. And I'm going to let God take me to his journey and let me know what he want to do spiritually when I get there. I know I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm just walking in my purpose every single day. Like, I felt it in my heart. Like, oh, I'm supposed to do this. Let's keep rocking with it. Let's see where this goes. So I just been, working on it every single day. Now I've expanded my brand, so I'm not doing just lip gloss. Now I'm doing lip liner, and I'm doing eyelashes, and I have more things coming up very soon. So, I just been working on my craft, working on my brand, working on my org, just doing whatever I need to do. Being a leader with a servant heart.
Hey, that's what's up. Do you have a team behind you as far as your products?
It is just me.
Oh.
100%.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a lot. It is really a lot. That's why I tell people, I'm like, the entrepreneur life ain't for everyone.
It's not.
It's a certain type of mindset. Not everyone is, and it's okay. Not everyone is I'm only 23 with my mindset that I have. And a lot of people can't say that. And that's okay. I feel like we all go through different, trials and tribulations to get us to where we're at. And I feel like, God lets everyone walk a certain path, and this is my path. And I'm here right now, and I'm doing what I need to do. But right now, no, it's just me, and I yes, it gets hard, but I want it to continue to be just me. I'm not ready. I have brand ambassadors and things like that, but as for like products, marketing, content, that's all me. But I do have goals of where I want to be in like a year, 2 years, 3 years, and when I want to start making a team. But I have to I want to not perfect things, but I want to be at a certain level with my brand. I'm only about to be 7 months. It's so new. I've been so successful, thank God, but I want to be where I want to be before I even bring more people into it, because I'm still so new, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense. How many pop-ups have you done so far?
Ooh, I don't even know. I for sure did maybe over 10 at this point.
Wow.
And like I said, I've only been in there for 6. And then this month just started for real. So and to do that many, and I've hosted my own pop-up as well, which was amazing. I did it on my birthday.
Okay.
So that was great. That was a great pop-up.
Yeah, to see that you have put in this amount of work in such a short time. Yeah, no, more power to you. Please continue to do the work, and please continue to to make your product known, because goodness gracious, again, you don't just have anybody that has that particular mindset of okay, yeah, I want to be sure that I get this and this done, especially at 23. That's a very, I'm not gonna say that you're very, very young, but it's just like, yeah, a lot of people they're not there yet at 23. Shoot, I was still in college at 23. I was still trying to figure out what the heck am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna do this? Like, I honestly never would have seen myself in the position that I am now, actually doing a podcast. It wasn't until later on that someone gave me the idea, like, hey, you got a radio voice. And it's like, you know what? Now that I think about it,
and it just click. You feel it, and you just like, you know what? Let me see about that. And when you tap into that, it just, when it just work. Now I don't want to say easily, because everything is hard work, but it's like you just feel it working, and you just like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with this. I like this.
Yeah, and in all honesty, it was not just so that I could do it for myself, but it's like, okay, I want to put it on the platform, but I want to be sure that I put my people on that I know are out there in the community that could help.
For sure.
The larger community, the Black community as a whole. I want to be the same kind of mentality that you have. I was like, I want to be able to lead, but also have that serving heart, if nothing else. Like, I want to be sure that people are able to listen to this and get great motivation from it. That being said, to get back to you, it's so impressive to see what you've done so far in such a short amount of time. What is your next big goal when it comes to doing this?
My next big goal. That's a good question. I make a lot of like, I don't want to say little or small goals, but like I make every single like the beginning of the month I make goals of like, all right, so it's January. I know, well, I started doing lashes in like January, February, but then like, it's like, all right, it's March. I know I'm gonna go to Hampton. A lot of my friends are in Hampton. I could do a photo shoot down there. Boom. Now
Okay.
it's April. It's getting warmer. You know, I think very strategically and make goals like that. But as for big goals, it's just to really just continuously to expand. You know what I'm saying? Just keep growing. Continue to, you know, do things like brand ambassadors. Just keep going for my business, and also just congratulate myself more. A lot of times I'm really hard on myself. And I feel like I got to keep that balance of like, all right, you know, keep pushing yourself, but also like, girl, you doing good.
You're right.
You know, take time to just to live in the moment of like, sometimes it stresses me out to keep being like, I'm so ahead of my time. I'm thinking about what's going on in December for my business. So sometimes I was trying not to do that because I'm like, we are in April. Calm down, Stink. What are we talking about? Why are we talking about December? So a lot of times I've kind of trained my brain to chill out, like stay in the present. What are we doing for this month? So right now, besides expanding and just keep going and, you know, do things like more promotions, more, I like to send out like PR packages, stuff like that. Things to just bring more awareness to my brand and do more pop-up stuff like that. So that's pretty much all I have planned for as of right now.
Okay, sounds good. Now, as far as like the pop-ups in general, like have you just had pop-ups in Maryland and in Virginia, or have you had them, you know, in different states? Goodness gracious, I'm sorry. Like that's the bad part about living next to the interstate, because I hear that like almost every day. So, but yeah, as far as your pop-ups, have you planning on having pop-ups in any of the other states for right now? Or are you just keeping it around Maryland and Virginia, or did you what else did you have in mind?
Right. So far, I have been doing them in the DMV area since I've been there. But no, for a fact, actually, the next pop-up I'm looking to is actually in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I've always been flying and traveling my whole life, and I don't plan to stop. Of course, COVID put a big stop on, you know, everything.
Yeah.
But even, you know, going back to Cali and stuff like that, I'm for sure bringing my, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
my business finna be everywhere.
Okay.
But right now, with everything going on, it's like, not that I feel the most comfortable, but it's like, all right, this is what I'm working with right now. Let me stay down and do this until I'm able to get everywhere. Because I feel like if I rush it and move too fast of just trying to do everything at once, to go everywhere at once, it's going to be too much. And like I said, I'm doing like so much at once. It's not just business, but so, yeah, I definitely do plan to expand and do pop-up shops in other states and cities and things like that. But right now I have been doing just the DMV area.
Okay. I don't want to call this my final question, but we are getting to the point where, I mean, we're getting to a point where we can wrap up here, because I think, you know, you've provided a lot of information, which is good.
I talk so much.
No, but that's perfectly fine. Like, as I told you before here, like, the more you talk, the better, you know, because, you know, this means that I don't have to ask too many questions,
right.
many of the questions that I might have had beforehand, you've already answered. So it's just like, well, let me find something else to talk about, or find something else to ask. As far as your products are right now, is it strictly just for women, or would it be expanded to, you know, other non-binary or even men in general? Just had to throw that out there.
Yes. So for right now, they are strictly for women, because it's, you know, lip gloss, lip liners, eyelashes. But I do want to expand something for everyone.
Okay.
I do think, hint, hint, I think I have something else in the works.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to necessarily be KSS brand products, but, you know, stay tuned for something for me from everyone. And even with Girls Rule, we can do Boys Rule. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's always so many different ideas in my head. So I definitely, you know, want to expand.
Okay, I hear you. Hey, I'm just excited for what you got, you know, as far as products and whatever else you got up your sleeve. I'm ready. For those of us who don't, you know, use lip liner or eyelashes or anything like that, how can we support?
The biggest thing I say, especially since everything is so social media ran right now, you know, anyone, and it don't have to be just me. It could be an entertainer or whoever, of course, if you see us on social media, like it, repost it, spread the word. It doesn't have to be you buying the product. I have a lot of friends, well, not that many friends that don't use this stuff, but I do have some friends that they might not wear lashes or something like that, but they can tell someone that they know that wears lashes all the time, hey, my friend got this business. You know what I'm saying? Word of mouth is so important. Social media is so important. So like I said, follow the page. Tell your friends to follow the page, like, repost, save, things like that. So, just stay active. And if you want to support, just support. The support does not mean purchasing products. I have guy friends that have businesses for stuff that, I might not be able to wear or something like that because I'm not a guy, but I'm a support. You gonna know that my friend is doing a business if you friends with me. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many other ways.
Cool. How can people follow you or follow your brand or purchase these products? Give out the stuff that people can reach you by.
Okay, so my Instagram is at KSSBrand. My website, you can find it in the Instagram bio, or it's www.kssbrand.com. If you are in Hampton or want to check out my organization, my Instagram for my org is _girlsrule. And yeah, if you want to check me out, my my Instagram is at lovekristina with 5 A's at the end.
Okay. Hey, that's what's up. Do you have any black businesses that you want to shout out?
Ooh, this is gonna mess me up because I'm gonna forget one. And there's so many. Okay, there's so many. Can I say like 50? No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say 50. Dang. Okay.
No, I'm kidding, because I'm so especially doing pop-ups, I meet the amount of black businesses that I meet. You know what I'm saying? Especially people that I've partnered with black businesses. It's just really so much.
Yeah.
That like it's a lot. But let me think of some Hampton ones. I'm looking at my page now. Oh, okay. One of my friends, she has her business called Jaja Beans Design. So she does like canvas prints, home decor, stuff like that. It's really cute. So that's one of the big ones. Autumn's sister actually has a business. It's called Shop Jane 88. It's a clothing brand. Her stuff is really cute as well.
Okay.
Let me do like 2 more and then I'm done because I will ramble. I promise you I will. The Bad Girl Network.
Okay.
That's a really good one. It's a women's network that kind of connects and uplifts women as well. And then I honestly be meeting so many, like, now I have so many business friends, so I be trying to shout them out too, not just the Hampton ones. And then there's this other amazing young lady. Her name is Jasmine. She has this beauty and cosmetic and personal care business. It's called Natural Beauty Love. And I'm gonna stop right there. I'm sorry if I forgot your business. I love you guys.
That is okay. That is okay. Well, that will conclude the interview here. Of course, I'm going to sign off in the next segment, but Kristina, I cannot thank you enough for coming through. Like,
no problem.
You know how much love that I have for you, and it was like, yo, she's here. Let me see if we can do this. And I'm just so glad that you were able to come and be a part of this platform. Like that really means a lot to me. So and definitely me being able to also continue to put you on also does my heart some good too, because it's just like, yeah, this girl's a boss. I can't say much more than that. Like, this girl is a legit boss. Like, shoot, man, whatever she got going on, I'm gonna support it 100%. So yeah, with that, we will go ahead and I'll sign off in the next segment. Once again, Kristina, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. To my audience, do not move. We will be right back to sign off. All right, and that is a wrap for that interview. So, before I sign off, we just have to give a couple shout outs here. First off, definitely want to shout out to Miss Erin Givens, aka I Celeb Pretty on Instagram. She has her own design business. Let's call it that. She's a graphic designer. It's called She Designs. So definitely check out shedesigns.net. She is actually designing business cards for me. And on top of that, I've known Erin for quite some time. Going on, it's 2020, 2021. So about 11 years now that I've known Erin. Hard working women. Goofy as all hell, but still very, very hardworking black woman out of, well, it used to be Charlotte. I believe she's in Atlanta now. But yeah, definitely check out shedesigns.net for any graphic designs that you need, regardless if it's flyers, regardless if it's a logo, regardless if it's business cards. Definitely check her out. And please, please support these black businesses. Please pay them what they're asking. Let's stop asking people we know for discounts. These people are a professional service. They're offering a professional service. Pay them, please. That being said, definitely shout out to Kristina and her brand KSSBrand. You can definitely go and follow KSSBrand on Instagram at KSSBrand, pretty much. And then be sure that you visit the website, www.kssbrand.com. You've already heard of that in the ad anyway, but I'm plugging it in again. So, I mean, it is what it is. Definitely check out her personal page if you like. Of course, you can follow her at Love Kristina, and it's like 5 A's at the very end, and Kristina is spelled with a K in case you didn't see the flyer. So yeah, definitely go and follow her on Instagram. And then you can also follow the Girls Rule organization if you are interested, and you can follow them at _Girls Rule org. So yeah, to the Daily Black shoutouts, of course, definitely give a shout out to Miss Kiara Calhoun, aka Kiara Cal, aka the Educated Baby Mama, aka Bougie Bartender. Please be sure that you check out all of her platforms. Check out her drinks specials under Bougie Bartender, and please be sure that if you are a single mother, married mother, it don't matter what kind of mother, but definitely check out her platform, the Educated Baby Mama. I'm pretty sure you will be satisfied knowing the tidbits of information that she gives out. So yeah, once again, shout out to all the black podcasts that I've been keeping on rotation. Shout out to the Culture Marauders. I haven't shouted them out in such a long time. They still stay putting in work. So definitely shout out to the Culture Marauders. Shout out to Truth and Transparency Podcast. Shout out to the session with Jay and Trey. Or aka the Session 757. Definitely shout out to Worst Generation Podcast, all 9 of y'all. Shout out to Blaname Podcast with Unbothered Mike and Sine. Mike is a super villain, man. Yo, he is a super villain. Like out of all the people that we talk about on the timeline, man, like Mike is the final boss of a video game. Full stop. Definitely check out Black Anime. That's BLXXK Anime. Definitely check them out. Be sure that you check out Mike Check Waifu as well. With Polo and Tel, two very, very knowledgeable men, though some of the anime that they don't really care for, I like personally. Though a lot of the anime that they don't like, I also don't like either. So I mean, there's that. But still, definitely check them out. You will not be disappointed when you listen. Be sure you check out Spicy Lady. Also, Inside the Mind of a Blurred. Be sure that you check out that podcast with my boy Scuba Steve and the rest of his crew. And sometimes he puts his daughter Skylar up there. So definitely check them out. They got a really dope podcast going as well. I think I've got the major ones so far. Again, if I missed you, charge it to my head, not my heart. Y'all know I got mad love for y'all out there. Trying to name everything is it's a struggle because there's so many podcasts out there. Oh, shout out to the Coexist podcast. Definitely got a shout out to Ashe and Sakani. and their little podcast that they got going on. Ashe is getting ready to also have a little one. She's having a baby, so definitely shout out to her. I think that's a wrap for all of the podcasts or the Black podcasts that I can think of. If there's more, obviously I'll shout them out at a later time. That being said, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook at Chaotic Culture Podcast. Be sure that you also follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod and on Twitter at Chaotic_Culture. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow Law at L.JR_96 on Instagram and on Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Nasa on Instagram and Twitter at _callmenasa. That being said, I hope that you enjoyed this edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Please, please, please be safe out there, guys. If you have to get protection, just please, please, please do it responsibly. Please stay blessed out here. And always remember, God is love. Embrace the culture. Deuces.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. 'Cause everybody needs some.